studio, then live streaming.
Alright, so
Creator studio.
Creator studio.
Yeah.
Alright, so and then link in right hand bar. And so we gotta switch it to unlisted. Privacy is unlisted.
Yep.
And it's pretty much going right now.
Okay.
So
then you need to.
we need to get into Patreon, right? So let's see, patreon.com.
Mm-hmm.
Street Fight Radio, it already pops us to the right place. So let's see, show notes. Yeah, get YouTube link, post on Patreon. So with Patreon, where are we at over here?
Click on the left hand side, it says post.
Alright, let me write this down. Alright, what next? So we're clicking on post.
Yeah, and then they say host a live stream.
Just right here?
Yeah, live stream.
Let's see.
Dio, time to go.
So live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Use your YouTube Live.
Yep.
We'll be able to fucking flex through this now. I'm gonna have to fucking. Alright, so YouTube Live. Start an unlisted YouTube live stream. So paste the link, right, from YouTube.
Yeah.
Alright, so YouTube, get the link. We know where that is now.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll paste the link in. Post title required. What are we calling it?
Just put live stream and then the date.
What is it, 5/23?
Yes.
You like 18 or 2018? Okay.
Put that in the area where it actually says it. Post title required. Copy and paste it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like the description down low, right? We
Yeah.
can leave that like that, right?
Yeah, just put thanks for tuning in, and then put right thanks for tuning in, and if you click on the YouTube link, you can chat with the other people that are watching.
Exclamation.
Yep, and just thanks underneath that, just a thanks note.
Oh, thanks.
Conks.
Yeah. Alright, so
Then we're-
schedule now.
No, you want to click that drop down arrow.
Here, let me write this in real quick. So,
Oh, click it down to $5 or more.
$5 or more?
Yeah.
Alright, so
Gumbo, we're gonna get your bow tie on camera. All those internet people will love it.
Yeah, are we on?
No.
not quite yet. Alright, so we've selected $5 or more.
Right.
Now what's the next step here?
Drop down and choose publish now.
Drop down schedule and choose publish now.
Yeah.
We're about live, right? We just gotta send it.
Yeah, that's it. It'll email everybody. What fucking time is it? I'm not even that drunk.
It's only 11.
11:01.
God. They sent Kurt Eichenwald that fucking... Somebody sent Kurt Eichenwald that weird thing again, and now he's saying somebody's going to jail for 10 years for it.
What?
Somebody sent him a thing that would cause seizures, and he's all mad about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like some of these guys are such dickheads, and like they could live without being online. Like a guy that writes, he's for the New York Times could like live without being on the internet. Yeah. Just go away. If your whole day is people being mean to you and telling you you suck, maybe go back to the olden days when you worked for a newspaper and nobody ever got to talk to you, you know?
Right. His wife, is he the one that his wife posted for him?
Yeah, and he's also the one that was tweeting one night while he was out to dinner with his family. And people were like, why are you tweeting while your wife's sitting at the table with you? He said, I'm eating dinner with my wife, and was like tweeting about something, and people started making fun. He's the one that was on looking at tentacle porn too. Like he posted a screenshot of something, and he had a tentacle porn tab open. He's like, I was just showing my kids that I know what it is. What a fucking dingus, man. These guys are all dinguses, dude. Like, it's so funny to think about, like, in any other generation, these guys that have these, like, prestigious jobs where their, like, opinion is really valued would always be taken seriously. But they just happen to be around in the time where we learned that they're all dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in, like, the worst time.
Yeah.
Right, because everybody's like, oh, this is Kurt Eichenwald. He's from the New York Times. Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Eichenwald. I'd love to see what you do all day.
But now it's just people calling them dumb, like, all day, and trying to get them to have a seizure. I'm going to smoke one more time before we go.
Why don't you start the live stream then?
Yeah, it started.
Well, people are coming in.
Okay.
Jeezy,
Yeah, we should get a standby.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, a little standby.
Are you getting that car doing burnouts?
Yeah, I emailed him about it, and he said he'll do it.
Folks, we're going to be back in a minute. It's going to be okay. And then we're going to go right into the show. And it's going to be very funny, I think. I have a few jokes in my mind that you are going to love. They're smoking a joint right now. A marijuana joint. Somebody said, because I was like, yeah, my brother's working for me. They're like, you're a boss now? And I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of just sit around while Brett and Jason do all the work, so I don't think I'm a boss. I guess I am that's how a boss acts, right?
Right. They can't hear you through the camera's audio either. You have to be on the mic.
Oh, good. Then fuck it.
They can hear you, though. I mean, like, they can hear me talking right now through one of your guys' microphones, so.
That looks good, man.
Yeah.
That don't look bad at all. Like I'm doing a bubbly ad over here.
Yeah. Well, you know you got it turned away.
Good. That's what they have cherry bubbly at the Kroger up here by you. In Graceland.
The Graceland Kroger?
Maybe I can talk yesterday on the show, actually, that I was messaging you about.
Yeah.
Glenn? Oh my god. I've never been so annoyed in my life. They gave her $100.
Why'd they do that?
Because we paid $1,300 on the damn thing and we took it back.
Before the contract was up?
No, there was like another 2 years left on the fucking thing. $55 a month. It was just better to get rid of it so I didn't have to pay for it anymore. And they were like, I was like, so how much? He was like, you have a rental credit for like $1,300, and I was like, what's the credit? And he was like, can you get $100 off of something in here? And I was like, all right. And then I told her, and then it was just like, well, I want this, and it was an $800 piano, and I was like, I'm not getting you that. I don't have $700. And then she's just like, no.
Why would you reward somebody giving up on music with another instrument?
I know. And then she whined when we left because she wanted a ukulele. They had a ukulele for $99.
That's perfect.
Exactly. But once we left, the money was gone. And I kept telling her that. Once we leave, you won't have any money anymore.
That's stupid.
We left with nothing.
Oh my god. You want to hit that again?
Sure.
I mean, I almost bought me and you 2 mics for
That's
the
what
road.
you should have done.
I didn't. They were kind of. I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know if they were good mics or whatever. You know what I mean? It was just. I don't know. I'm not.
Thank you.
I should have done that. I agree.
How much would they want for him?
$40 a piece.
Yeah, we probably don't need those.
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Music and Arts. Over there in Graceland.
Going back to Graceland.
I don't know, man. I was so fucking going crazy.
That's so wild. That
Should we start recording on Audacity now, or do you want to wait until we get
No,
back
we'll wait till we
down?
get back. Yeah. I don't know. We were fighting about it. people? There's 2 of yins in here.
You want me to start the recording now?
I think we could go, maybe. I need to open up this room. Oh, I'm one of the 2.
Oh yeah, I might be one of the 2 too.
It's just us. All right.
2 people?
And we think it might be us also.
Huh? Oh. Nobody.
3 picking up.
That's probably me.
Started your recording.
I'm sorry, dude.
I don't care. You just got my fucking shoe.
Those goddamn glasses. I'm just glad I didn't get it all over my shirt.
Brett spilled his wine.
I got 1 drop on my shirt.
Well, that's gonna stain.
Retire.
That'll famously stain.
Retire.
I don't think you got my shirt. Or my pants. You didn't get my pants, dude. Ooh. 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 Somewhere over the rainbow.
Where's that wood sign at? I was gonna shout. We never gave that guy a proper shout out.
I don't know where it's at. I had it the last week. Way up high, you'll be a window boy, and I'll kiss your mom and dad.
No. A window boy.
I don't know what that means.
You're gonna pick it. You're gonna be shopping, and like, I want to kiss his mom and dad. Pointing a window full of boys. I'm gonna kiss his mom and dad right in front of him.
Son, I'm about to kiss your mom and dad.
I'm gonna kiss your mom and dad. There's nothing you can do about it.
Try to stop me. You just try to stop me from kissing your mom and dad.
I can't believe it. The wine spill made it on camera too. Someone's gonna put that in
It's like
slow-mo.
a threesome sort of thing. Kiss your mom and dad.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't know.
It's like a swinger thing. Did you break it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst, man. I do that to Katie Burns all the time.
Criminy, this is a bad night so far.
You are fucking really messing up your wine gimmick here. Watch, I'm watching him break it now on the video. Ah! Oh, now he's getting up. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
Alright, so
You.
I think we're live now because we didn't quite go through with the publish. So we've published
Oh, now there's 4 watching. Now I just can't stop watching that number.
it should start going now.
Choom. Choom gang.
The Choom Gang.
Me and my Choom boys chooming it up with the Choom gang.
Famous tokers on the West Beach. The Choom Gang. Damn. It sucks because we can, like, it would be cool if we could play music right now. You know?
Yeah, it's fine. We could get some of that really funny, like,
We have to get, like...
rights-free music.
Yeah, we need to get some of that. Oh.
That shit the WWE uses when they dub over, like, the cult of personality.
Yeah. I should just get, like, Ask Ben or something to make beats.
Doodly-doo-doo, doodly-doo-doo, doodly-doo-doo. Record this. Record me going doodly-doo-doo, 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 and that'll be the music.
Almost done.
doodly doodly doo, a doodly doodly doo, a booka booka booka, looky dooky doo. Those are good musics I just made. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right.
I need to calm my nerves.
I love booka 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 la-di da di doo. If you in the chat, if you want to give me things to sing right now, I will. Row F just gave me booka 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 booka. That's what we'll do until we get the show rolling. Booka booka booka. Do you remember when they had pizza Happy Meals at McDonald's and they played that song? A pizza Happy Meal.
Yes, yes.
That was a fucking good song, man.
That was a great time.
A pizza Happy Meal.
Yeah, what was the song?
It was
Can we pull it up?
I mean, I can look up pizza Happy Meal. I don't think it's here. There's no way that's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pizza Happy Meal, a double burger with cheese.
I used to always love when Burger King would do all the doo-wop songs too. Fire, in which you're like a bunch of beef on a grill and shit.
Oh, I found it.
Pizza Happy Meal.
Oh, this isn't it. Hold on. I'm sorry. Here, I think this is it. Well, that's not a good one at all, guys. Why don't they have the...
There are some things parents will never hear.
Would it be okay if I went to bed early today?
Oh my god, dude, this commercial's blow me away because that was like that's where everybody got their information from, was the TV, man. That was the world. Like, my parents were watching TV.
I don't think they have the pizza Happy Meal commercial.
I remember it. That was a great song.
McDonald's pizza was good, man. I used to get it all the time.
I can't shit on it. I mean, I loved it at the time. I definitely got plenty of pizza meals over a burger.
Oh, it's pizza Happy Meal, pepperoni and cheese. But it's not here. They ain't got it. It's the pizza Happy Meal, a double burger with cheese. Da-dee-dee-da-dee-dee-da. That's my Italian music.
Italiano.
That's an Italiano song. All right, well, sorry people that are in the room.
We thought you were going to hear the official McDonald's pizza anthem.
Yeah, it was a good song. Double cheeseburger, burger, please. That's... I'm reading them out of the chat now.
That was a good one.
No, booka, pizza, double burger.
Do you know Dilly Dilly is catching on?
No.
I heard a young person say it. They're being duped by Dilly Dilly.
Dilly. All right. Let's get them fingers snapping.
Adam's Family.
Get them fingers. I love to snap my finger. I want Rio. I really want. I used to watch like long videos of just commercials. The best video commercial is 7-Up Gold. That is the number one. It was when 7-Up was releasing a gold 7-Up, and there was like a guy sitting in a restaurant with sunglasses on. He's like at a fancy restaurant. He pulls in with sunglasses on, like dressed really cool with a pizza, and he sits down at the fancy restaurant table, and he's like, I'm eating this fine dining, motherfucker.
Right. They don't ever give you enough. It's all tiny portions and shit.
Yeah. I'm going to eat this cool shit. And he would just lean back. Everybody in the chat does not like Dilly Dilly. It's
Good.
been voted
I'm
out of
good.
the show anyway. So
I don't like it. I'm still back with the frogs.
Comrade Payne, 7-Up is the best. 7-Up's probably the best pop, really. But
Oof, really? Best
No.
medicine. It's the best medicine?
Double Neg, the show has not started. The show's going to start in a few minutes. We're just hanging out, man. Jeez.
We got to let people have a few minutes to get in
Making me
here.
work.
Sorry. It's going to be a minute or two. Are you threatening to leave?
No, they ain't leaving.
Give us like
this
a-
show fucking sucks.
They said that?
No, that's what I'm sure they're thinking. Like, these guys are just sitting here goofing around.
Yeah, this is our new format, okay? We're getting more freeform. Brian's putting his hat on sideways so he can make up songs.
When the show comes on, I'm going to turn my hat the right way.
Right.
This is like laid back me.
Sure.
And then I put my hat on the right way, and it's time.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Yeah. No, this show ain't starting yet. Oh, Brett spilled his wine all over the place. And it got on his pink shirt, which is a bummer, but he could just say, you could just tie-dye that motherfucker now.
Yeah.
You could just go get some, like...
Bleach, the bottom half.
Yeah. I used to know one of our friends growing up's name was Steve, and he got bleach on his shirt, so then he went and took some bleach, and he wrote Steve on the front of his shirt. in
Cool.
bleach, and, like, wore it all the goddamn time, too. It was like... But, I mean, that's fashionable.
That's what he came up with? Yeah. It's better than putting someone else's name on your shit.
Yeah, just...
This is my brand. I made this. I designed by me, Steve. I'm the designer and the wearer.
I wish more people did that.
That's better than repping for other people, man. You just like, I'm going to wear this brand so that I look like everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. Well, but
They were like, I don't want to look like some Steve. And it's like, well, Steve makes his own clothes.
Yeah.
So what's your excuse?
I watched Atlanta last night, and there's an episode where they're teens, like kids in school, and he goes to the thrift store and he finds a FUBU shirt and then buys it, and then he gets to school and there's another kid with the same FUBU shirt, but it looks different. It has like a patch here, and the whole day is the kids trying to figure out which one is fake, and then busting the balls of the one that like has
Sure.
the fake shirt, and it is like so like I was like, man, this is sending me back. I'm like getting
Yeah, it was
nightmares
rough.
right now.
Yeah. And you still perp to this day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that shit was no joke. It was so fucking serious. I mean, not really, but then you talk to people later in life and they really did get scarred by that shit.
No shit. Yeah, they were like, there was a guy in
It's
the
bullying.
show that they called some name. I was like, remember why they call him that? You know, and I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was always the best. Oh, somebody pointed out I'm wearing an Adidas shirt right now.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about like putting other designers on their shirt.
Oh, I know. I was looking at him. That's what made me say it.
I'm head to toe in Adidas with Nike shoes. I'm perping. Sorry. I perp.
He does perp. That's adds to the show.
Yeah.
That's all. Adds authenticity.
What are they gonna fucking do?
Yeah, I know. You can't
don't have to
you can't get
follow.
made fun of anymore.
You don't have to follow Adidas's fucking rules about what clothes you wear. That's
Well,
fucking
they would-
bullshit.
They're like, well, here at Adidas, we would like to see you actually wear the shoes. That's why we
Well,
make the other clothes.
Sorry,
you know?
Adidas. I ain't doing it.
We put a lot of technology. We have Adiprene technology that we put into those shoes.
Yeah,
that,
theirs is cloud touch, I think. So they're like supposed to feel like walking on puffy clouds.
Oh, that's nice. I have Comfort Step Ortholites. That's my grandpa shit.
I know. I went.
That's
looking,
my old person feet.
I went looking for shoes today, and there was a bunch of like orthopedic old dad shoes.
Rockports, man.
And I'm just like, I don't want those.
They feel so good on your fucking feet, man.
I'm sure they do.
Those Clarks are like the best.
But they're
Grandpa
Bobos.
shoes. No, they're not Bobos. They cost real money. They're finally.
Bobos can cost $1,000.
No, they can't.
If they're Bobos.
No, they can't.
I guess dad shoes.
Bobo's got to be off-brand. Bobo's got to be no known brand.
Hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, you ready to do this show?
Yes.
All right, we're about to do the show, folks. Am I in the mic enough, Jason?
You seem to be coming through proper, yes.
Good, okay. Because this works for me, actually. I like this.
Yeah, good level.
Beebly beep beep doo. Beebly deep beep doo. All right, I'm ready. You guys notice I'm not doing LaCroix. I'm doing bubbly. That's a new thing for me. I like the cherry bubbly. They don't make a cherry LaCroix. So
Who's bubbly? Where did bubbly come from?
I don't know. Just really
Out of
shot
nowhere.
out there though. They just have a better. They're better. They taste.
They
better.
did it better.
They're more expensive though.
Ooh.
There's an issue. Yeah.
Well, I
For
mean,
a few weeks they were cheaper, and then it got you hooked into it. Like, damn, that cherry flavor is good. And then it was like, bubbly as
But
Pepsi.
the bubbly. Oh, it is the bubbly at like Whole Foods though is like way more. I mean, you can when you get talking about seltzer water, you can get outrageous.
Yeah, I like Polar, man.
Really?
Yeah, I do like Polar, but it's too expensive here.
That's not the Nestle one, is it?
Too pricey. No, I would never buy a Nestle thing. That guy's trying to privatize all the water, Brett.
One of them is a Nestle.
I'm
Well,
against it.
somebody has a problematic fave when it comes to their seltzer, and one of them's Nestle. I can't remember which one it is.
I'm looking up Nestle Seltzer.
Nelsie Sletzer.
Nestle Seltzer.
That's a great fucking name.
Yeah, write that down and for character.
Yeah, we're gonna put that
names.
character name. They'll show up
Yeah.
in our movie. Hey, Boots Riley got a movie,
I know.
and I was like, so if we do this for like 20 more years, we can get our movie. He made a movie about a guy that's a black guy that's a telemarketer that figured out a way to dub his voice so he sounds like a white guy,
Yeah.
and he like jumps to the top of the company.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to see that. That looks good. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
It's called Nestle Pure Life. So
Oh, that's all? I thought
yeah.
they owned. I thought they owned one of them.
they call them exotics. They're a more exotic version.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, Nestle just has. They're like, we ain't fucking making up a new name or buying some product. We're just gonna do Poland Spring, maybe.
Is it Poland Spring?
I don't know. But seltzer water is so wild because like everybody's into it now.
Well, yeah, because we grew up in the age of information where you don't want to be drinking calories all day long.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's do this.
But nobody wants us to drink. Nobody wants to drink water.
I love
Like,
regular
just
ass
plain
water with a slice of lemon in it.
That's
Yes,
not
sirree, at
plain
home.
water. That's
Good for your
water
liver.
with a lemon in it.
I don't do it all the time. All right, let's do this.
Okay. All right, you ready?
Yes. Pizza, Happy Meal, pepperoni and cheese.
Pepperoni.
All right. Get the sillies out. Thank you for listening to Street Fight Radio. I'm glad you're here. If it's your first time or you've been here for a long time, we appreciate you either way. Hope you're ready to get this thing started. We are working on spreading this mess across the U.S. We got this plan to smash all the hierarchy and give everybody their power back so we can all do whatever the fuck we want and then live our best lives in harmony. We're coming to you live from the basement. We are live streaming the shows now. If you're a Patreon subscriber, $5 and up, you can watch the shows, and they're all archived later. So if you can't stay up at until 1 in the morning on a Wednesday night, I understand. You can go back and watch the shows. And the chat is open as well. If you want to go into the YouTube video and get involved with that, you certainly can. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quimby. We've been doing this show for 7 years now. The last one you heard was from the WCRS studios. That's our home radio station, how we got started on everything. We had a show once a week. We moved it up to 2 times a week. And now every single Sunday we are taking your calls for 3 hours from 11 p.m. to 2 in the morning every single Sunday night. If you want to get in, 10:30 p.m. is the time to start calling. That number is 614-412-5252. Save it so that you know. And thank you for being here. Once again, I've said thank you. I'll keep leaning on the thank yous. I wanted to mention, for people that are watching, we got a really cool wooden sign that was burned. What is this? Is this what kind of technique is this?
I don't know.
You use that little hot,
tool, I think.
that little hot thing, soldering iron looking thing.
Yeah, it's cool as shit, is what we're saying.
It's a wood burning thing, and if you want to check out more, you can go follow him on Twitter. He's at the Young Sapien, and he's on Etsy. No More Gold Lights. He even made us, because a Street Fight sign is cool. It's a little indulgent. I wouldn't hang it up in my house, but he did make me a wooden sign that has a paragraph of lyrics from a Thursday song.
Which we love Thursday.
Yeah,
on the
which
show,
is
obviously.
definitely I'm putting in the house. Well, we'll have it in the studio. We'll have it in the restroom so that people can ruminate on the endless drudgery of late capitalism.
My favorite thing is the studio bathroom has a waterfall right in front of the toilet. And I always think I want to bring that up on the air because it's like, that's kind of funny to... It's like, oh, this helps me, get the pee rolling.
Yeah, it helps it going. There's a lot of guys there, I guess you could say that.
Yeah. So, fun. Good times. How are you doing this week?
Pretty good so far. No problems. My wife is going back to work, so I'm doing a lot more chauffeuring. And this is only the second day, and I kind of said a little too sternly to her, this is becoming a real nuisance already. Like, I was just like, I'm tired of driving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Especially because with these new cars, they show you what kind of miles per gallon you're getting on them. And I'm just like, I'm fucking burning up the earth right now. So
they expect you to be in the suburbs, driving on the freeway a lot
Sure.
too. When you live in the city, that mileage is just like, I don't try. They're like, you get this many miles. I'm like, no, you don't. You ain't. No.
Right. It's just standing there with like a fucking oil, like a rag and a lighter. It's just burning up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to get that figured out. Other than that, enjoying the weather and working on getting the studio together more, working on that shit.
I had a real day yesterday. Well,
Okay.
actually, listeners, we can flip the calendar back. I have overdrawn my bank account.
Oh my God.
So I'm currently overdrawn for the next 12 hours. So there's that.
Okay, so back to zero. We're going to have to get a sign for the wall. We should start selling those
Yeah.
in the Street Fight store.
It's in the new zine. There's a little thing you can put the button in.
Oh, okay,
I was
cool.
doing so good. Here's what happened this time, okay? I got myself down to $1, which is like, never
Bravo.
get there.
Bravo.
Right, you should never get there,
Dude,
though.
I've been so good. I get it down to 000, man. I've literally spent every fucking penny. Like, can you put 4646 on this card? And then they're like, yeah, because that's going to get me to zero.
Yeah,
Fucking love it.
That's good. So I went for zero because I fucked up. We talked about it on a call-in show. I fucked up the account. I had money all the way up until yesterday. And then I got down to zero after a trip to the grocery store, and I had to buy stuff for the kid to do a project in school. And I was like, okay, it's 2 days at zero, and I'm not freaking out about it, because it's like, just 2 days. Nothing can happen. But in the era we live in now, things are just always coming out of the fucking bank account. Nobody tells you when they're going to come out. It's just like, you got this subscription? It'll come out sometime.
Shudder. Your Shudder is due.
Yeah, every month, it's like 5 things. Like I have
last year, you signed up for a year-long subscription to a calendar service, and it just renewed for $59.95.
Yeah, mine was $10.94, and I think I know what it was. Marvel Unlimited, which I accidentally signed up for and should have canceled because I don't even read it, but I didn't know how to cancel it because I signed up for it on iTunes. And it came out of the account, and now I'm minus $50 because you get a $35 charge too. So I'm at negative $50 right now, and there we go. The sign is flipped back, baby.
Hallmark got me for like $35 because during Christmas I signed up for their e-card app because you could fill out all these cards and just schedule them to go through on Christmas, and that's what I did. But there was no way to cancel it without calling them. And every time I looked at the number, I just rolled my eyes and was like, "Not today. I don't want to talk to Hallmark today."
Well,
because I don't have to deal with someone being like, "Well, Mr. Payne, we do offer more e-cards and even advanced features I can unlock if you're willing to stick around for another month."
Yeah. Well, that was with me. Was like, I was just like, fucking. It could be 2 days. I got Marvel. I went to look how to. End the subscription, and I couldn't find it, and I was just like, forget it, I'll get it later. And doesn't it just come out the one day that it didn't need to come out? Like, I'm flush tomorrow, I'm feeling good tomorrow. It's that paycheck to paycheck life, and tomorrow is the big day.
We've all
before
been waiting
Memorial
for.
Day weekend. We've all been waiting for it. And it's just like, fuck. I hate this. I want to call the bank and be like, it's been so long. I've been so good.
Oh, did they charge you with a fee?
Yeah, I got to hit with the $35.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, I deserve it.
Yeah.
That's
sucks.
my punishment. That's what happens. Now I got to start out $50 in the hole next week. I just threw $50 in the sky, and it's gone now. Up where the chemtrails are.
Well, yeah, them ATM fees aren't enough, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. They need to do this other stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know that we always have to be honest when we overdraw in this show, so people know when the last time. You could go back through and listen to 5 years of show or 7 years of shows and hear every time one of us has overdrawn our bank accounts. Brett's been real good. Like, it's always me. It's always fucking me.
Well, I mean, I do have a lot of the Patreon money mixed up now too, so that has helped a lot.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I feel like you just spend it all and be like, I'll pay it back next month.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would spend all my money. I can't have access to money. I can't. I love it. I love to have it, and I love to just sit and look at a bank account. So somebody in the chat is just saying that they have theirs set up so it'll reject payment if they're going to overdraw.
Yeah.
I don't know why mine's not set up like that. That's what I want. I want that. I want to get rejected. I'm not too proud to get a not approved and walk out of the room not approved.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I mean, it's embarrassing, but it's better than spending $70 or $35. I haven't checked since I found out it was overdrawn earlier, so who goddamn knows where it's at right now, you know? Who knows? I could be $100 in the hole.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I remember they always switch that shit on you because I would start a bank account and I would spend until I got denied and be like, all right, ramen or homemade tortillas is all we're eating for the rest of the night or for the rest of the week. But then they would always change the policies and they would let me overdraw and then I'd go negative $500 and I'm like, y'all used to cut me off. And they're like, oh, well, there's been changes in the way that's handled and then your savings versus your checking. And then they start getting into all these rules. I'm like, why did you let me do this?
Oh, God fucking forbid
I'm paying you to
take my $5 from savings.
Like, here's the thing. If you were my bank, if I gave all the money we got to you and then I only had $1, you only had $1 and I came to you and was like, I'm going to go buy groceries for $40, you'd be like, you don't have the fucking money.
Yes.
So
yes.
How is this a service to the bank? How is this a service from the bank? They aren't looking out for you in any sort of way.
No.
They want that 35.
They do. Well, they want more than that 35.
But
they want like a bunch of stuff to try to go through on the same day.
But they spend millions of dollars and put all kinds of diverse people in their ads that pat you on the shoulders and are like, I'm glad to see you're buying that new home. And, they're so happy to see you when you get in there. And then they're like, well, yeah, you don't have enough money in the account, but take it. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, I mean, they know I've been with my bank so long that they know I'm not going anywhere too. That's the other problem. Cause it's like switching banks is probably on my list. I want to have the same bank till I die. I don't want to switch banks. I just don't want to go through. That seems like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Well,
switching
it's
banks.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everything in the world.
It's a nightmare. It's too much. You got to change direct deposit. Like my wife would have to change direct deposit. I'd have to pay I just feel like no thanks, man.
Dude, it was bad just switching fucking addresses. When I moved to Dallas and when I moved to Virginia, I had a solid 3 weeks of my card getting declined and having everything fucking fall apart just because the zip code had changed on the account.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with me. Had a pretty wild day yesterday too. My kid, Gwen, decided, hey, I'm not going to play saxophone anymore. I'm going to do the choir now.
Okay.
I've been paying $55 a month on a saxophone for like 3 years.
Okay.
I have paid $1,300 so far on this thing.
Yeah,
and then I just returned it.
Fine machines.
They are. They're very... Hey, look, saxophones are fucking cool, man.
Oh, yeah.
People that play saxophone are fucking cool. It's a good instrument.
Great.
And I would have stuck with it had I been putting that much time into it. Like, she put in like 4 years on the thing. It's like, you should stick with that. I mean, you could end up playing like do 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 do.
I was in band and I played for several years and I was pretty good, but I wanted to give it all up for guitar.
Yeah,
because
me too.
I played the trombone and I was kind of into the idea of a ska band, but then I was like, that's not where things are going. I just don't see ska on the horizon with like NSYNC blowing up here and Puff Daddy doing what he's doing. I just don't know where my place is going to be, you know? So I wanted to go guitar and I couldn't get lessons. That was like the shitty thing was that there was no way to get lessons. Cost too much money. I got a closeout guitar from this like electronics place that was shutting down. My dad got this sweet like Sunburst Ibanez for me, but then I never did anything with it.
And then you hear,
but I was good at trombone. I was great. I was like first chair and did all kinds of, was in jazz band and shit.
Yeah, and then you hear about people who taught themselves how to play guitar, and it gives you a little bit of, because I had a guitar for a while too, and they're like, I taught myself how to play, and I'm like, well, I must be dumb as hell.
Yeah,
man.
that's not me. Definitely not me.
So,
I love it, man. I have a deep appreciation of music, but I mean, I just really don't have like the rhythm or the understanding of like all of that to put it all together into music. I can enjoy it, but I can't do it.
I can enjoy music.
I guess I can though. I did at one point. Like it did make sense to me, and I just got rid of all that. I mean, I wish I was more musical because that's the thing is my wife is also like wants my daughter to play an instrument, and I'm like, honey, the people that fucking end up playing instruments their whole life grew up in a house where people play instruments.
Right,
That's just how the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
When it comes to instruments.
If everybody in the family plays an instrument, I think you're more likely to play an instrument. But my kid was like, all my friends are doing choir, so I want to do choir now. That's such a high school thing, you know? That's such a school thing. It's like, choir's the hip thing to do, which not really, but choir's the hip thing to do. I'm going to start doing choir.
Well, there's also stuff that you could be really into and maybe even passionate, but if it's just not going to go anywhere, I mean, after school, she's not going to be in a band, right? She's not going to try to play. She's not talking to you like, one day I'm going to grow up and play saxophone in a real band.
No, that's not it. Yeah.
Right. It's just an extracurricular school activity. So,
yeah. Well, so I've paid $1,300 on the thing, $55 a month for what feels like forever. And I checked on it recently. I still had like 2 or 3 years left paying on this thing.
Gee, many Christmas. Did Vivaldi make it?
No, it's the fucking one. It's like you go in there
it's just
and they're
the entry
like,
level.
Get this saxophone. They tell you which sax. Basically, what happens when you have a kid and they're in school and shit is like the school tells you to go buy a bunch of stuff, and then you just go buy whatever the school tells you. Hell, I don't even buy school supplies anymore, dude.
You just hand over the money to them?
I just hand the money over to the school. You give them $45 and they'll have them there on the first day of school.
That's a good deal.
I've already got the school supplies for next year taken care of. That's all done, you know? So she quit.
Yeah, you can't really pick, too, when it's like, these are the instruments that we rent. They're all $3,000. It's like, you got a budget option maybe? Like, is there a plastic version that I could try out for a little bit, have her noodle around with?
I feel like they could make a plastic version at some point.
Yeah.
What is the brass
3D
that
printed.
important?
The brass does give it that nice sound, that like rattle.
Is that you guessing? Or is that just like, that you're just like, yeah, it's probably the brass is important, you know?
I mean, honestly, I think it's one of those things where there's probably a ton of instruments that are like unused too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They
like I'm just thinking all the pawn shops full of them.
In Street Fight world, I would love it if the people that wanted to play in a band were able to like just have the instruments, and it did like listen, I'm doing okay, you know. I just complained about overdrawing my account, but I am actually doing a lot better than most people
because of recklessly spending, not because
because I took a bunch of people out to dinner and did a couple other wild things.
Yeah.
But like, how do people in like poorer districts handle something like that? Like, how does somebody who is like not doing as well as me pay for their daughter or their son to learn to play saxophone? Like, how does that even happen?
We had grants at Columbus Public.
So they have grants.
They had a certain amount of instruments that they owned. So my parents paid for mine because we could afford it, and but there were other people that had trombones on loan from the school.
Is it a huge like rigmarole to do it? Rigmarole.
It didn't seem like it. I mean, it was. I'm honestly, the band wasn't the most popular thing. The teacher was really cool.
Well,
we got to play really fun stuff, and like I enjoyed it, but it wasn't the hottest thing at the school.
Well, then let me ask this: do you think maybe the band wasn't the hottest thing in the school because a lot of the parents couldn't afford?
Yeah, I'm sure
to
a
get
lot
the
of
kids, because my
a lot
daughter
of kids
goes,
thought I would never probably like there's no way I'd be able to ever play a fucking instrument anyways. Why would I even bother asking, you know?
Because I know that in the school that my daughter goes to, everybody plays in band for, you know, for the first few years that there's a band, everybody gets to do it. But they also, I mean, we talked about recently, they went to Kings Island for a field trip. I had to give her $70 to like go on a field trip. And I was like, what if I don't have $70 to go on a field trip? Does she just have to sit at home? You go to an amusement park that costs $30 to get in and you're not allowed to bring any food. I have to give you money to eat at a fucking amusement park. Like, it's just really fucking unfair. Like that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that when people talk about equality, like when you talk to a lot of conservative people, they're like, but everybody has the same chance to make it. Like, you may start on different levels, but everybody else has the same chance to make it. But then you start to think about it and you're like, but there's all these people that like we as a society treat like we don't give a shit about them. Does that make, like, how would they not feel? Like, how could somebody not feel that you don't give a shit when there's a rich school with a fucking swim team? Like, we didn't have any, we didn't have a swim team in my school. And do you know why? There's no fucking pool for them to swim in.
Otherwise, people would have swam.
There probably would have been a fucking swim team.
Well, and that's the thing, too, about opportunity is that, you know, because where you're at, $55 a month is nothing to throw. Those people can throw that around. That's one night out. So, it's easier for kids to just pick things up and be like, I want to try this. Oh, I hate it. It sucks, and flame out. But a lot of the poorer districts are denied even that opportunity because there isn't $55 floating around, and it just comes down to that $55, you know?
Yeah.
It's not a matter of like it's not a matter of opportunity. It's a matter of fucking cash.
Well,
money.
Yeah, and
there's a dollar amount attached to it.
Exactly. It's not that like kids that come from people at the bottom of the like economic scale, like we treat it like they're like we don't, but I talk to people who treat it like they aren't willing to achieve. Oh, they won't achieve. They just don't want to do these things. And I'm like, I know that there are a lot of things that I missed out on because I didn't want to ask my parents for money, and they had money, okay? Some money. And that like, and so like,
that is on you.
If you were worried, that's on me now. Of course it is. But now imagine if you're worried about your parents' next paycheck. What it's like to ask your parents for a fucking guitar.
Yeah, a cello.
Yeah, or go tell your parents that you're going to be paying $55. I need this saxophone. It's going to be $55 a month. That is a fucking chunk. That's a half of $100. I only make 9 of those.
Right.
That always frustrates me. There are just no like opportunities for a whole bunch of people.
And it's a measly amount of money. It's a measly amount of money. Once again, it's amount of money that people are. It's someone's Range Rover payments for like an entire year could put a whole orchestra together. You know?
Well, somebody said something in the chat that it's not to mention the way music and the arts are treated right now. If it's not STEM, it's looked at as worthless or artsy stuff. Like, let me just say that like these kids are also doing robotics and shit like that. Like, there's even with STEM. There's a limit to what a person who doesn't have money is able to do. Even if it's fucking STEM, you know, the robotics club or programming club. If they don't have the computer, they can't do it. So it's, I don't know. But so anyway, we get to this place and I have this, I paid $1,300. He's like, dude, the guy at the counter, dude, you have a $1,300 rental credit. And I was like,
tight balling.
This is cool. This whole place, and I have $1,300. And he was like, well,
I want a dobro. I'm going to put a down payment on a dobro, and I'll make payments for the rest.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, $1,300 rental credit. So I have, like, I can spend money here. And he was like, yeah, you, if you're buying a band instrument, we can give you $700 or something like that. But if you're just switching instruments, but if it's not a band instrument, we can give you $100. And I was like, well, that's kind of fucking boba.
What is that? We'll give you 1/13
I know
of your credit. Don't call it a credit then. Just come up with a different name.
Don't even tell me. Don't.
Yeah.
How about you don't even fucking tell me
don't
I have
bring that in.
$1,300? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know that.
Like, I gave you $1,300? God damn it. That's how much I gave you? Really? Why did you tell me that?
And I'm giving it back. I'm giving you your fucking saxophone
it back.
Yeah.
Right on the table.
Yeah. Fuck. 13 and you're gonna give me $100? What can you even get in a fucking music store for $100? What are you even getting?
I was thinking,
price?
Yeah, you could get like a whole bunch of those like egg shakers. Or like a tambourine, maybe. I bet a good tambourine is a couple $100.
Well, I saw a ukulele.
Oh,
for
really?
$99.99.
Good deal. That's
Told the kid, and she said, "Well, I want this," and it was a fucking goddamn $800 piano. And I was like,
no.
Yeah,
No,
well, I
that's
don't
not
have
close.
the 7. Did I tell you I've overdrawn my bank account?
Well, the ukulele, she could even do like covers of rap songs on YouTube and get a whole bunch of hits, man.
Yeah, for sure. You could be the next Pomplamoose.
Exactly.
And then invent Patreon. And then somehow make it so I'm making a living doing shit.
Thank you, ukulele players.
Yeah. But
my kid just got a ukulele, actually.
That's cool. Is she playing
Hand me
it?
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does it. It's more like a harp, though. She lays it down sideways and like plucks the string one by one and then just kind of tries to harmonize with the sounds.
Yeah.
She sounds like Joanna Newsom.
Yeah. And here's another great point in the chat. Those activities are used to deny kids scholarships or college applications.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll say, like, you need more extracurriculars.
Right, you weren't in band or anything. Well, I just see a kid there that went to school and did the work and didn't try to do anything extra.
Right, and by...
Sorry, bro, I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it even when I was in school, it even cost like $80 to play on the football team.
Oh yeah, they switched to that. When I was in school, there was a big problem because to be on the team, it cost $110 or something.
And then all the kids that are like, "This is my way out. This is how I'm getting out," have to then fucking come up with that money too. It's just, it happened at our school because people wouldn't vote for levies, which I think is one of the biggest fucking crimes about the way that we fund schools in Ohio. I don't even know if it's everywhere else, but that basically, like, you go in and you ask people that are you ask people who are paying property taxes to pay more property taxes and to fund the school. And when you're trying to, a lot of times these people maybe don't have kids. Their kids are already out of school and they don't want to pay more property taxes. Now, that's selfish and fuck those people. You know,
sure.
That's how I feel. I just feel like, what kind of a fucking person are you that you would take money away from kids because you don't have any? We live in a goddamn community. You have to throw in money.
Yeah, it's kind of important because these kids can go fucking sideways. You see what happens when the schools don't get money? We get awful fucking results.
Yeah.
You have to inject lots of cash into those things to make them work. Because they're just underfunded.
Yeah. They're underfunded. And then when they come and ask for the money, a lot of times, and I used to hear this, and I didn't understand politics when I was in school, but strangely enough, in Groveport, where I grew up, we were always trying to pass a levy. And they would have to have the kids like go out and be like, please, sir, please vote yes for the levy.
Yeah.
It would allow me to have a school book.
I have holes in my shoes, ma'am.
Yeah. And it's like they weren't voting for it. So every year they would say things like, well, goddamn, the school needs to learn how to tighten its belt.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and then there's places where I've read some awful things where you look at these places where the strikes are happening in Oklahoma and that where kids are sharing books. They have like 5 or 6 kids sharing one book, and that kids are now taking pictures of the pages and texting them to each other for like homework assignments and reading assignments.
fuck.
And that's how people are getting by.
Well, you used to hear about those rural schools where there wasn't even like a tax base to pay for it. Like there has to be. If we really want to sit around here and talk about equal opportunity, the very least thing we could do is just get a big pot of money for education and spread it completely evenly to all of the schools.
Yeah.
Because the people that go to these places with huge tax bases, they don't fucking even deserve the schools. They don't deserve what they get. They didn't do anything to get there. They were just born in a place. Like, there's almost nowhere to live in my daughter's school district where we live. Like, I shouldn't be able to afford to live there. I really shouldn't. I got really lucky, and I got the one apartment that was in my price range. There aren't other apartments in my price range there at all. Plus, and the district lines are drawn in such a way that keeps anybody who's renting out of the area. They really draw them around apartment complexes.
You have like an old grandfather clause too, where like your shit is super old, but your landlord doesn't want to upgrade it, so he just is like, you know, we can just keep the same deal, right?
Yeah. No, they ain't. I mean, I can't get my carpet replaced or any, because they're like, well, you could help us pay for the carpet. I'm like, well, this is your house.
Yeah, this ain't mine.
I don't really want to pay for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll just pay the same then.
We'll just keep paying this crummy rent. I mean, less than $1,000 for 3 bedrooms is.
Yeah. Can't beat that with. I mean, that's a great deal.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, Columbus Public, as far as I know, is pretty good. There is, you know, they do have, like I've mentioned before, free breakfast, free lunch. They even went on a field trip. They're going on a bunch of field trips for the end of the year, and they packed peanut butter and jelly and apples and carrots for every single kid and a yogurt and a fucking milk, and everybody got to eat. So
yeah, that's people that have had to deal. That school district does that because they have to deal with poverty.
Sure.
There are other school districts that, like, ours doesn't pay for shit, and they're just always asking you for money. They're always in your shit for like, oh, you know, tomorrow we're doing this like project. Can you just send your kid to school with $15? It's like, what the fuck? That's $15.
Right. Yeah, that's two orders of sushi at Fusion.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how I just, so the kid didn't get an instrument for that $100 because she wouldn't pick anything less than $800.
The ukulele was there.
Didn't want it. Did not. It wasn't. I almost bought a keyboard, like a Casio.
Why didn't you just get it, dude?
You
should have played it, bro.
Don't know why I felt like it needed to be her or nothing. I should have gotten myself something.
You could be playing that song?
I know. I'd be playing ooh, 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 ooh. Well, somebody said that's an insane position, that I don't have kids. I don't want to pay for schools. That is such a fucking common thing that I have heard all my life. I don't have kids. I don't want to pay for the schools.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we got to spend money on moms because we all got them and we all was babes. We got to spend money on, I mean, kids. We all were one. That's why I feel like you can't go back on that, right? I mean, money was spent on us by other people that didn't have no kids, but money was spent on them too. Like, that's the fucking deal.
Well, it's all going to come out in the wash in the end, you know? Something better is going to happen if you fucking pay for kids to get, like, learn to play the goddamn saxophone for free. Like, I just feel like there has to be an amount of money out there that we could come up with where, like, the schools are just like
$1 billion?
Well, I'm not trying to say, like, I just feel like there's got to be a way that all the schools can be the fucking same. I don't know why they can't be the same. There are federal guidelines on teaching. It just
It's like
can
high
be the
society,
same.
man. Them fucking crusties got all the money and the power, and they get to say how it gets spent.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to think that they can climb up. Everybody's tied into that because, I mean, most folks that are even on the fucking bottom are still buying into the idea that they can work their way to the top eventually.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they want to make sure there's a ladder in place.
I mean, I was that way.
They want like
For a number of years, I thought I was climbing the ladder.
Exactly.
I had a regular job.
You grew up,
and-
yeah. Now you are pre-woke times. You are a textbook era of success. Like grew up in a shithole town, moved to a better place. Job security, had a kid, and put her in a fucking good school where they do STEM and saxophone, and all that is like the thing. But at the cost, it's a big cost to other people to do the system like that.
That's cool though. That's great. We should have that for everybody.
Yeah,
Like I
but
said,
mean,
every school should have a fucking swim team. That's like the symbol to me, because there wasn't one where I grew up. Like the symbol to me is a swim team. That's what rich schools have. They all have a swim team.
Well, you can just go to there's public pools too that you can use. Like they use a public pool for practice for Grandview High School.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. It just, they have a swim team there because people are like, oh, we have a pool we can use. We'll have a swim team. It's just depressing. Okay. So I got another. So this story's from NewJersey.nj.com. And this relates to teens too. A McDonald's franchise owner has agreed to pay a fine after being accused of violating child labor laws at 11 locations in New Jersey. S&P Enterprises, based in Central Valley, New York, paid a penalty of $8,829 after letting 14 and 15-year-olds work too many hours at fast food eateries it owns in Bergen, Passaic, Morris, and Union counties, the U.S. Department of Labor said in a statement. The teens worked after 7 p.m. during the school year, more than 3 hours on a school day, more than 8 hours on non-school days, or more than 18 hours during a school week, all exceeding the law's limits. An investigation of the Wage and Hour Division of Labor Department found.
That's fucked up.
I
used to do that
me too.
When I had my first kitchen job. So I worked at Fazoli's, Italian food, fast. That was their slogan. That was my start. Then I was hanging out with guys that were older than me that had jobs at restaurants. So when I was 16, I got a position at All Star Cafe, which is like the sports version of Planet Hollywood.
Well, it's the sports version of the Fashion Cafe, if you remember that. Remember they did a Fashion Cafe too, where like 4 models bought a cafe?
No, I didn't know that.
Dude, those steam restaurants, everybody did one. But yeah, you did the All-Star
I did the
Cafe.
baseball
it's the
one.
sports version.
Yeah, the one that they would call everything was like a home run dog and shit like that, were the names of everything. And so on the weekends, I would work 12s.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I made money. I really wanted money. And so I would work 12s on Saturdays and Sundays every fucking weekend. And when I wasn't in school, I was working overtime. I was working 40, 50 hours, 60 hours sometimes.
I worked, I don't know why I don't forget this, but I closed at McDonald's once. They called me on my day off, which was a Saturday, and they said, our closer called off. Can you come in and close? Now, as a 16-year-old, I thought closing meant, hey, when the store's closed, we just all walk out and we're done. I just work until the store's closed.
Right, lock up. Make sure you lock the door now.
Yeah. The one duty was walking out the door. I didn't think about what goes into closing a McDonald's.
Cleaning every fucking inch of that place.
Right. And so I come in at 7, probably thinking like, hey, we're going to get out of here at 11 o'clock, maybe midnight. 4 a.m. we got out. They had to, and then they had some weird older guy drive me home at 4 a.m. And like, I always think about that now. Like, why are we making teenagers work? Like, why are we doing this?
Because I had no money and I wanted fucking money for Echo sweatshirts.
I did too. But that is not the most, it's not good. Like, a lot of people think it's good that teenagers work. My daughter will work for Street Fight. until she's old enough to get a job, because I don't want her working at one of these places where they're going to take advantage of her for sure. Because the way they treat teenagers, they know that teenagers have a respect for adults in a way. They know that teenagers are really short-sighted and they're going to want money. And they know that they can take advantage of that. They know that they can tell you things when you're a teenager that you'll believe, and you'll just be like, yeah, I guess I do have to stay here till 4 a.m. We got to get all this work done.
Yeah.
And they do that, and they take advantage. I think it's kind of sickening that it's $8,000 for this. This company paid $8,000 fine. It's like,
that doesn't do much.
You could go to every McDonald's and catch them doing this. There's no way that they aren't doing it. I never worked anywhere that followed child labor laws. I never worked at a single place that followed those laws.
I've had this conversation with people that, you know, when they were a teen, they had their own car. Like their parents had a car to hand down to them immediately, and they didn't have to work. And they were like, I really wish I had a job as a kid and all that. And I just get so fucking red in the face about it because it's absurd. It's like, it's a waste of time, and it's like a terrible work environment, and it's just wasting so much of your life.
And potential.
I would have rather had like more time to do instrument stuff or to pursue the arts or to learn how to run a camera or code. I was too worried about getting money because I had literally no other money to get video games and clothes and collectible Gundam models and all the other stuff I wanted, you know? So I was spending all my time, extra time. You know, during the week, they would kick me out. Like I could only work from like 4 to 7. I worked 3 hours every single day, Monday through Friday, or whatever it was, and then work the weekends too. But I don't think kids should be working at all. It's a time in your life when I don't even think you should be acting like you're that grown, man. 16 and 17, you don't need to be holding down a motherfucking job, man.
Well,
you have so much other things to be worrying about and figuring out for the rest of your fucking life. Besides, like, taking orders from some fucking shithead at a fucking Fazoli's.
From some 22-year-old. Like, and look, we all know also that the sexual harassment to young women on these jobs is fucking off the charts.
Dude, I'm talking about the 90s when I was there, and everybody would have got fucked up if there was a Snapchat of what was going on.
Yeah. And it also, like, it just, all the crime, a lot of the crime that I got involved in back then, I found those people at work. Like, I found the people that I was doing the crime with at my job.
Motherfucking the worst coke head in the world. A guy that would skim our fucking bag so much that we had to shove him up against the wall and make us give us money back, you know? He was a thieving ass motherfucker. Worst person in the fucking world. He would steal car parts. He would sell you broke auto parts and be like, oh man, it was totally working though, you know, when the guy gave it to me. Oh, I met that motherfucker at work.
Yeah, and it's a predictor of it's actually a predictor of juvenile delinquency. It's like a lot of the kids that end up getting in trouble when they're 16, 17 years old, got in 15, 16, 17 years. I mean, they can start at 14, apparently, in New Jersey. That said that they could start at 14 years old at McDonald's. They had 14 and 15-year-olds.
Yeah, I started at 15. I think I started doing a paper when I was 13 or 14. I don't remember I think Kroger hired at 14.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't want Kroger, so I waited until I was 15 to get Fazoli's.
Well, you made the wrong choice.
No,
dude.
Fazoli's was the shit, man. Garlic sticks all day. Garlic bread, pasta. You get the sampler platter. We would make our own like sauces up. Like we would mix up the Alfredo with the marinara and like, do our own fucking creations.
But you didn't have to get all dirty at Kroger. That's kind of the thing. I don't know why you didn't want to
work
working
at a
with
grocery
food.
Store. No, I'm a food guy.
You're a foodie. Big foodie here. I work.
I like to do it. I mean, it just feels like a worthwhile thing. Something about it is honest. It's like, yeah, people need to eat. I'll be the person that makes the food. I feel like that's a very respectful thing, you know?
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder, like, because it's looked at as like a universal good that teenagers work. It's not
Yeah,
I
it
don't-
builds character, right?
Yeah, I don't talk to a lot of people that they think, you know, you need to get started at 15 or 16. Why?
Yeah,
Why
it
do you have
doesn't-
to do that in 2018?
If you're on your way to college, I mean, what is it? Doesn't it's not going to get you anything with your, you know, I don't know.
That's something somebody says that wants to hire teenagers for like very little money.
Yeah, it's like, you're not going to college, son, are you? You better get yourself a goddamn job.
Well, I always got that vibe too. That was another thing I got
Yeah.
that vibe. A lot of the kids that ended up working were like a lot of like the program in school where they send you to work. That was always the vibe for me, was like the school was just telling them like, you're not getting a job, man. You're not good enough for the vocational school. You're not good enough for college. You might as well maybe you can become manager of this Wendy's.
Yeah.
If you start now really young. So
Yeah, I don't think I didn't have any plans to graduate college, really. I never like espoused any interest of like graduating from school.
I mean, they could have sent you to vocational school though.
yeah, I should have went.
Like there were so
I should have
many
went to
things,
that.
because that's what makes me fucking nuts about the education system. Is like there's got to be a bunch of different ways for there's got to be a bunch.
But
Huh?
because everything's a competition, though. I mean, they've basically hoarded all the wealth at the top, and you have to come from the right blue blood upbringing, go to all their schools and get all their scores and follow the right path. And then if you become a Harvard economist, then you get to have $1 million, you know?
Yeah. And your son doesn't have to work at fucking
You're
Fazoli's.
Fazoli's, right.
He'll work at sorry ass Fazoli.
if your dad lays brick, you know, for a gigantic kiln the size of a fucking football field so that they can blast ceramic dog bowls, then your son's got to work at Fazoli's.
Yeah, or if your dad is Kurt Eichenwald, then his son doesn't have to work at
No.
Fazoli's, and he just gets to look at pornography, I guess. Tentacle porn.
I don't know. I mean, I wanted the money, and it probably was a good place for me to figure it out because I also knew that I did not want to work for money like that. I think that is what let me know I was an entrepreneur in a way.
Well, okay.
To be like, I definitely am not going to take orders from nobody. That's just going to not work. You know, for me.
Yeah, I guess like there's that.
But I mean, at that young of an age, though, once again, I wish to be honest, here's what I would rather have happened. I would have rather, instead of me working, my parents would have enough money for guitar lessons, and I could have been learning how to play guitar, and I could just be like a regular spreadsheet guy, homeowner with a 401k that plays in a cover band on the weekends.
Yeah.
And just live that like Christian life until I was gone. But now I got sent on this path.
Yeah, that was me. I mean, my plan was get a job, get an apartment. I don't think I ever even pictured myself getting married. Like, I was just going to be alone, apparently, with that.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. Free bird, man.
Bachelor,
Gotta
man. I'm
be.
a motherfucking bachelor.
Gotta be.
Women, they're
What's
too
that?
much.
No ball and chain, man. Hold you down.
Yeah. So Brett, you put a story in the show notes that I'm like kind of looking through. To a couple of cops ate some edibles.
Yeah.
Oh.
I gotta say, all cops aren't bastards. Maybe there's some cool ones on the force.
No, they're not cool because they took them from somebody.
Oh,
They're never cool, dude.
I thought they were like, we should just, we got to do the football game detail this weekend. Why don't we just take this shit, bro, and like, chill out.
I mean, that's what I feel like I would do.
Yeah, if I was a cop, I would be on edibles, of course. That's why I should be a cop. That's what I'm saying is like, if I've heard the cops were on edibles, I'm like feeling more comfortable around them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
It's like,
that's
dude,
not...
you rolling right now? And he's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, but two Toronto police officers who allegedly ingested marijuana edibles, hallucinated and called for help while on duty Sunday have been suspended, CBC News has learned. Both officers are under investigation by the force's Professional Standards Unit following an incident that happened Sunday, according to Mark Pugash, a spokesperson for Toronto Police Service. I thought y'all's cool up there in Canada. Maybe if the cops were all on, I don't know. CBC,
I think it makes sense, man. Because your reaction timing is so slow, too. Like, that would totally, they wouldn't draw their gun so quick, I feel like. Maybe?
Yeah, they would still. I think cops are different.
They're warriors.
Sort of thing. We always talk about, like, how...
Yeah, and weed just makes you, like, it just heightens all of that shit.
Well, we always talk about how like guys like fucking like libertarians also use drugs.
Yeah,
like,
that's
they smoke
true.
weed and do acid.
They get all manic they get to smoke their sativas and stay up all night doing a bunch of economic calculations.
Like libertarians also take LSD, and you know how like you feel super connected to the world. Like that's not how they feel.
Yeah.
They get whatever their libertarian stuff is. It's
Oh,
wild.
I am immortal. Whatever I decree, it shall be.
It's so wild thinking about that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is like a Cheech and Chong episode. I hope they don't do anything bad. I'm worried now because it's like a lot of people complain about paranoia with weed, and I have to imagine they're thinking up some pretty crazy shit if they're a cop on edibles.
Yeah. We got to stop this thing about
They've seen
like,
so many movies where they're in the movie standing in like that same part of the field, and they're like, dude, the bomber could be anywhere, bro.
Yeah, we go, oh man, you don't know what, like any one of these ladies could have a bomb in their fucking purse, dude.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with like this
Weed doesn't
idea.
fix people. That's
Yeah.
That's the problem. We couldn't just, weed isn't the solution.
People always say-
unfortunately.
People think it's going to turn you into Cheech and Chong. That's
It
the
does.
fucking thing. But it turns
did
you
for
into
me,
a
though.
okay.
It undid all of my conservative brainwashing.
Okay. It
Like
didn't
it
for me.
reversed all of it.
I used weed forever before I became a left. Before I moved to the left. Like I just think that like your brain takes these substances and it does what it's gonna do with them.
Yeah, sure.
And like if you're a libertarian, it makes you think like maybe it's pretty like we'll privatize the fire departments, man, and then like people will get it, like they won't be paying taxes anymore, but they can buy a fire subscription, you know?
Maybe I do want a child. Perhaps I would like to have the option to just purchase a child and sell one on an app.
Yeah. Oh man, I was just like thinking the other day about how like if somebody like I own this property, like this property right here is fucking mine, and like if some piece of shit steps on it, I could kill him. It's not always positive. Drugs don't always lead to a satisfactory outcome, is what I'm saying.
That's true. It's wise words.
Like you think about all the people back in time that did like acid and weed and you're just like, how did they come out on the other end with those opinions, you know?
Yeah, that ego, man, really overrides everything. And that story that you tell yourself, no matter what you do, I mean, it's the strongest drug you got, really. You know? Like the fucking narrative you tell yourself.
Somebody said my main libertarian friend did like mountains of acid going to hippie jam band shows, which that's true.
And how do you do that too? I mean, why don't you just give in? They're just contrarians. It's like you love peace, love, and respect, man. Like you really dig this shit. Go all the fucking way and join the commune, my friend. Stop it with this fake ass shit. There's a guy I know a motherfucker that's a troop that loves all of that Grateful Dead shit, and I'm just like, buddy, stop being a goddamn conservative and grow your fucking hair out. Grow your hair out, get a goddamn deadhead tattoo, and live your fucking life. Stop being a square. Stop thinking that like you're being an individual because you're like this independent business creation, you know?
Independent business creation.
That's
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of hippies are libertarians.
Yeah, they're
I
bad.
think, like
a lot of bad hips.
So many
the old
hippies,
ones too, man. Like I've seen it all, man.
I've seen it all, man, and that's why I'm voting for Donald Trump.
You gotta look out
2020.
just for yourself, man. It's gonna shake things up, man. I only rely on myself. The commune won't have your back, man. You boil all that chicken for them, they're just gonna eat it all up, man. Take all your spoils.
Yeah. Okay. Larry G in the chat said all the libertarians I know are bachelors. Coincidence?
Yeah, I mean, the market for partners in the libertarian is definitely breaks their economic models.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also
The success rates just aren't there to suggest that.
It's also just so hard to be around them a lot of times. Like,
Not
there's,
really.
Like, there's so many things.
I get along with them just fine.
Sure. I mean, but
That's
when
my
you start
That's my brethren.
Sure. When you start getting, like, I have always, like, gotten kind of along with them. And I think that a lot of times your opinions are so fucking close. You know, they're kind of running parallel so many times, and then they just say that one thing where it's like, fuck, what is that? What, like, why privatize the police? Like, that seems like the worst idea I could ever think of. Like, you'll be like, we should abolish the fucking police department, and they're like, yeah, and then let businesses do it. No, not that. That's a bad idea. Yeah, man, we should get rid of the police department. Yeah, and then, like, Jeff Bezos could step in and, like, he could do it, like, Amazon style. They're making those facial recognition softwares.
Well, you know what? Actually, it was funny when I was listening to the show back, the call-in show, when we were talking about the free power. We've kind of moved a lot because you were like, even you, Mr. Freebie, Mr. No More Money Anymore, everything gets what they need. You were like, we can't do free power because of the environment.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a big issue, too, where I'm also super anarchy, don't like really any rules for the most part, but if you let these people get away with it, they do the most horrendous fucking things to make $1.
Well, if we had free,
somebody has, if you didn't regulate or pay attention to what they were doing, it would be atrocities. It already is at the current rate. So, yeah, that kind of stuff I just don't understand either.
What's funny is, like, you start thinking about, like, if we had free electricity, what kind of fucking maniac, like, Bitcoin rigs they'd be building. The Earth would be done.
Yeah,
if it was free.
Fried out little fucking kernel of ash.
It's just like it's so there. Yeah, somebody else is talking about, like, you're like, oh, you know, libertarians are like, well, why would you want a union when you can stand up to them yourself? Like, stand up to your boss yourself. And you're like, because if I just say I don't want to do it, then they'll be like, okay, fine. This other person can do it.
Yeah.
And then it's done. There's no fucking, like, collective action like, they have this thing in their mind that you can't do collective action. That, like, collective action is not a part of human nature. And that's just not fucking true. It's not. Well, first of all, they don't know anything about human nature. Like, everybody that yells at you about human nature, when you talk to them, you're like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, they're always the people that are like, you know, it's human nature, man. If there weren't any laws, I would annex your yard and kill your family and just take over your land. And you're like, oh, wow, that's what you think human nature is? Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I just spaced on my response to that.
Yeah. Somebody just said China's cracking down on Bitcoin because they subsidize energy and the dorks take up so much energy. So China does have not free power, but they run it, and people were like,
they're like, yeah, that's a little much. What are you doing? Making what, computer money?
Bitcoin freaks me out now because of that. Actually, that
the power consumption aspect.
I don't know why. I don't know how it got into my face, because you know me, I'm an ignorant, and, like, basically all I watch is wrestling, and, like, somehow it got in front of my face, the kind of power they're using for Bitcoin, and, like, I pace in my house thinking about it now. Like, no. Every time somebody's like, I have a bunch of Bitcoin, I'm like, yeah, but now there's, like, a whole section of forest that's gone because you fucking want Bitcoin. You can't even spend on anything.
No, you can spend it on things.
Okay. It's still bad, right?
Sure.
You'd rather have the paper money or the computer money.
Yeah, I would like
that
to.
We have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's some sort of combination, because that aspect of it we don't need, but we also, I think people are just really satisfied when numbers are, like, passed back and forth, or if there's, like, a code. There's transactions. People just, really need those to feel stable to make everything work. And we've kind of live on a basis of transactions, but I think it could just be a little bit more fluid, and like, I need 35 today, you need 35 tomorrow.
Less precise is what you're
saying?
saying?
less, a little more loosey-goosey.
Larger margin of error.
Margin of error. Yeah, like you said, that just like a big kind of like, how about we pay the schools to run and we don't really do like an IRS tax check on the books.
Yeah.
No, we just spend what we need and then don't worry about paying it back type situation, because we live in a different fantasy now, which is that we're going to pay back like $13 trillion or something. Like, and that's stupid. That's something I don't want. I don't agree with that. This is why I don't. All the old motherfuckers above me, you ain't adults. You ain't grown. If you think that part of the government is that somehow we're going to get on a payment plan on $13 motherfucking trillion. We're not, or whatever it is. But like, if you just want to say the money is limitless, who fucking cares, right? Who cares?
Money is like a living organism that expands and contracts with whatever we need.
With needs of people that are trying to better themselves and, not be a piece of fucking garbage and be a part of our society,
I mean,
money solves all the problems.
It's also just a bad way to do things.
Oh, it's
like
the worst.
And you're right about the transaction thing too. It's like, I fucking need to do a transaction every day. I feel like I haven't done anything if I haven't done a transaction every day.
I mean, and but also I think that it's the same thing with the job though, where it was, even from a young age, I'm willing to serve spaghetti to people as long as I can pre-order Metal Gear Solid 2, right? I'll serve all of it. Breadsticks, I'll go out there, give everybody free breadsticks, but I'm going to get a PlayStation motherfucking 2. And like, that's what, that's what everybody, I think that's the entire reason that conservatism exists, is that they feel that there's a breakdown and that everybody would just sit on their hands and not like chip in any sort of meaningful way if there wasn't like if you weren't like dinging them for $55. $55 wasn't like a really important thing for all of us,
Yeah. I hate it. I hate money. I've been trying to get to moneyless society.
It's so stupid.
Since we started Street Fight, I'm always trying to figure it out.
I'll be candid here and say that I am at a point with my wife's salary combined with what we're getting from Street Fight that I'm the most comfortable I've ever been in my life. And, we just can't believe how like lucky we are. And we get to just really, it's freedom. It's just now, like, I know that I could get on pennyhoarder.com and I could follow all the rules and kind of, save some money and put in a Roth IRA. But like, for everything I want to do, I can just make happen now. And I don't have to ask any sort of questions. And, I'm not terrified of going out and, like you said, buying a dinner for somebody. You're in this situation because you bought a dinner for somebody.
Yeah.
So
you're college,
being punished.
Wanted to take care.
You're not a household that has buying dinner for people money, right? So you're getting punished right now. So you had to pay a $35 fee for that.
I do have to pay a $35 fee for that. That is not fair. The world is unfair, folks. That's what we're trying to get at. I think that's it, man. We skipped the cops there, but we had a good little talk about the
there was
they called backup. The cops ended up calling for backup.
Yeah, what happened?
They got suspended. They got in trouble.
They just called and said, back up, I'm too fucked up. They called fuck up, back up.
I know. I think they got weirded out by something.
Sure, the edibles.
They called for emergency assistance. They got too high, and then they called for emergency assistance, and that's how they got busted. Why can't these cops get stoned without calling 911? How come every time a cop eats an edible, they have to call 911?
There was the one in Michigan, right, that stole the edibles and then called and said, I think we're dying. Am I really
think I'm dead. He said, I think I'm dead.
Yeah.
Was the first thing he fucking said. Like, how does that even fucking happen? That's never happened. I mean, I've freaked out a little bit, but I can usually be cool about it. You're a cop. Go fucking say you're clocking people for speeding and lay in the car.
Yeah.
To get your fucking head back. There's no way not to get your head back.
My wife and her friend from college, they got a job first thing out, and sometimes they would like share a weed edible and just like giggle all fucking day long at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do like that aspect of this.
Yeah, I agree. I do. Hopefully these cops quit and then they become like pro weed guys.
Yeah.
You know?
They should do, like I was saying, that DVD series about how to beat the cops at weed. Make like some sort of As Seen on TV 6-disc Blu-ray set on how to hide weed from the cops.
Yeah. That's why they all want it to be illegal, because every time they take it, they fucking freak out on it. They're like, oh, nobody can handle this stuff.
Yeah, this is some pretty potent shit.
Like, I can fucking go with
this
it,
is no
man.
Jim Beam.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did it, man.
Well, we also had a couple corrections from the last basement show we did. Ted Kaczynski was a Harvard student that signed up for testing, and they fucking shot him up full of LSD and tried to control his fucking brain.
God. The CIA did?
Yes, the CIA was running a program at Harvard to fuck with young people and see what happens. I mean, that's just...
And then he saw, like, the technology's gonna fucking destroy us, and now he's dead.
Yeah. So, yeah, they kind of brought that on themselves, and...
The Unabomber is the
kind of like
CIA's
9/11.
fault. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Also, the other one, there was a very prolific bank robber. I can't remember his name, but the movie is called A Place Beyond the Pines.
Okay, it's true.
Ryan Gosling is the guy.
He's a hunk. I love him.
This fucking dude, I think he was in Pennsylvania and like New York, like the western part of New York. This guy would run in, and if I remember correctly, he would do like a crab walk. Like he would walk so that they didn't know how tall he was or what he looked like. And he would like run in, jump on the counter, take the money, and then he would ride a dirt bike into the woods and drive it into the back of a panel van. And then drive the panel van out of the woods, and he got away with so many fucking heists that way.
Oh, that fucking rules.
The movie is dope. The movie is crazy. The movie has a different aspect to it, which it really dramatizes it. But if you look up the real guy, he's a cool guy. I'm trying to do it
cool
right now.
I mean, anybody that robs bank is cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, he was...
Except for like when the Joker did it because they killed a bunch of people.
Sure.
Didn't like that at all. But yeah, I'll have to check out this movie, and maybe there's a book about the guy I can get somewhere. I just finished my current book, so.
What book are you reading?
I just finished it. I don't have another book now. I'm reading a book called Sex, Lies, and Headlocks.
Oh, really?
It was about 90s wrestling. Not great. I wouldn't check it out if I were you. It's unless you're like interested in wrestling and you want to read the same fucking story that everybody's been hearing for fucking 15 years. But
sure,
I'm looking for a new book. Maybe I'll find a book about this prolific bank robber that got away with it.
Yeah. So big change to the Patreon. We finally got our cease and desist letter. They said we can't send any consumables out to people, so that includes CBD and Kratom. We are no longer going to be sending those out on a monthly schedule. So right now it looks like $1 a month, you get the bonus shows. $3 a month, you get the zine. $5 a month, you get the live videos. $8 a month, we'll mail a zine to your house. And for $12 a month, we will send you a zine plus a bonus zine that we usually source from Microcosm Publishing. They're a radical publisher out of Oregon. We're also looking for independent sources for zines. So if you have one or do one, and you want to set up a collaboration, we'd be willing to do that. We are going to also now start offering larger quantities of Kratom that do compete with the other Kratom sites. So we're going to be offering kilos and quarter kilos and all of that at competitive prices. We're going to try to be your number one source for Kratom and CBD. So instead of, being on that subscription model, you're just going to have to get it straight from the Street Fight store. We'll work something out with how to get you some zines as well. But I will keep you all updated. I don't know. I'll make a video or a post or something thank you for tuning into the show, supporting us and what we do. We're going to continue this, do bigger and better things. Hopefully, we can get some sort of sway on public opinion and move this thing in our direction. And we need all y'all to be loud and proud of being a street fighter. So we'll be back later this week. Peace.
Hey, thanks everybody for coming into the room.
Yeah, for sure.
We appreciate it. It's fun. We tried to perform for you this time. I hope we satisfied the I played to the camera.